Hi everyone, this is Kaiju Studios 2K, and welcome back to the channel. My channel has officially hit 1,000 subscribers on August 7th. For the 1,000 subscriber special, I've decided to do a Q&A video. I recently posted on the YouTube community tabs an update for those of you who are subscribed to the channel to comment any questions you had for the channel that I would answer for the Q&A video. Now that I've got the questions, they'll be answered in a non-scripted fashion. I'll try my best to answer them with honesty, while doing it in a brisk pace so that the video doesn't drag as long as a feature-length film. One last thing before we get started. Thank you all for subscribing to the channel and helping me in achieving the first major milestone of the channel. It took me a while for my channel to get to this point with this many subscribers, but at the very least, I've reached this goal thanks to you guys for enjoying the content and continuing to support my channel. I sincerely appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel to become notified of future uploads. With that out of the way, let's begin. Okay, so I have 25 questions here, and I'm going to answer each one of them as clearly and concisely as I can. So the first question is, what is the most underrated movie in your opinion? This is by Simba in 1994. There are plenty of animated movies that I think that deserve more recognition, and I can name 3 of them right off the top of my head. The first one being The Road to El Dorado. I admire the 2D animation style, which in my opinion is more visually stunning than some 3D animated or CGI movies. It's funny and has plenty of humor that adults will understand despite it being a children's film. Overall, it's the kind of movie that both adults and children can enjoy. The voiceover acting is fantastic and the characters are fun to watch. Overall, it's a movie that definitely deserves more recognition. The second movie being Over the Hedge. The animation is fantastic and it still looks great almost 20 years later. Its premise is somewhat innovative, despite it being based on a familiar concept of animals rebelling against their human oppressors. The voice acting is fantastic and I really enjoyed the dynamic of the characters, and each of them are given distinct personalities. That's another movie that I think really deserves more recognition. And finally, it's kind of a controversial one, but it's The Polar Express. If you put aside the uncanny valley CGI human characters that this movie's often been criticized for, it's really a technical marvel that was really impressive and ahead of its time. This movie holds a special place in my heart for not only being the first movie I ever saw in the theaters, and it's a very nostalgic movie that is really good to watch around the holidays. It's also surprisingly a thematically rich and deep film that takes you on a journey, and when you watch it as an adult, you view it with a different lens. It's a different experience watching it as an adult compared to when you first saw this movie as a kid. I really admire the atmosphere, the visuals, the cinematography, and the direction, and overall I think it's a fairly faithful adaptation of the original book by Chris Van Allsburg, but it also takes creative liberties. It's faithful in terms of maintaining the spirit of what the book is all about. So in that sense, I think The Polar Express deserves more recognition. I don't think it deserves to be hated on just because the characters and the CG looks uncanny, you know what I mean? I don't think it's that bad, to be honest with you. So yeah, those are the 3 animated movies I can think of right off the top of my head that I think are underrated. The next question is by Godzilla 2019. Do you think the Reiwa movies are underrated? Considering that we've only had 4 movies in one anime series in the Reiwa era, and each one is different, and also each one has been divisive in their own right, I would say not really. Shin Godzilla has been the only one that I would say has been actually very good. The anime trilogy was a huge miss, and I still haven't seen Godzilla Singular Point yet. And I'll explain why in a little bit, why I haven't seen Singular Point yet. But generally, I don't think the Reiwa series is that underrated. Now, I don't think it's overrated either. It is so far the most divisive era in the Godzilla franchise so far. Godzilla 2005 asked the question, what if Godzilla had a spiral atomic breath in King of the Monsters instead of a burning form? I feel like the outcome would have been the same. Godzilla destroys Ghidorah in a brutal and destructive way, but instead of using the nuclear pulse, he would have used the spiral heat ray that he did in films like Godzilla Destroya and even in Godzilla Final Wars. Now, that would have been awesome to see, no doubt, but it would have been the same. Outcome is the same, and it also wouldn't have changed the fact that subplot of burning Godzilla's burning form in King of the Monsters at least, was rushed and really it really felt underdeveloped, to be honest with you. So the outcome would have been the same. The method would have been different, but it wouldn't change how rushed that subplot was in the movie. So that's how I feel if Godzilla used a spiral heat ray in King of the Monsters instead of the nuclear pulse. The next question reads as follows. When will your Jurassic World Dominion review come out? This is by Kiru 2002. A lot of people have been asking me about the Jurassic World Dominion review and when will that come out. At the moment, the review has been pushed back because I've been busy in real life, working on other projects, and also applying to college. College is right around the corner, if you didn't know. And I've only seen the film once. But once I've seen the movie a second time by buying it on home media, that's when I'll review the movie. Like, take notes and actually like work on the review. While I can't see for sure when will the review come out, I can assure you that the review is going to come out in the near future. And the review will be an in-depth look into why I think Jurassic World Dominion fails as both a movie and as a conclusion to the Jurassic Park saga and the Jurassic World trilogy. But you gotta wait for the review to come out for you to hear my full thoughts on the movie. SE Vet asked the question, if you were in charge of making a new design for Godzilla to make him stand out from every incarnation we know, what will he look like and what are the inspirations for that design? This is an interesting question because I think for my iteration of Godzilla, if I were in charge of designing him, I would take inspirations from both unused concept designs as well as real-world animals that are either living or extinct. My Godzilla would deviate from the traditional upright standing T-Rex posture by having him stand in a more horizontal posture, similar to modern-day reconstructions of non-avian theropod dinosaurs. I would also take inspiration from living animals such as monitor lizards to maintain Godzilla's reptilian image. Lastly, I would look into some unused concepts produced by both Toho and America. If you take a look at the unused designs of the 1994 Stan Winston Godzilla, the Millennium Godzilla, and the Monsterverse Godzilla from 2014, notice how different those designs were. Many of these had stylistic, crazy, and over-the-top features while still maintaining the basic characteristics of Godzilla, both in design and character. I will take influence from many of these unused concepts because they are incredibly stylized and very creative as far as Godzilla concept designs are concerned. That is what I would do if I were in charge of creating a new design of Godzilla. Take inspiration from concept designs that were made by both Toho and American studios, draw inspiration from real animals, and come up with new design features to make a different yet faithful incarnation of Godzilla that would stand apart from the rest. Moving on, Salvyman1010 asked the following question. What genre do you think would work and would not work in a kaiju movie? Genres that I think would work in a kaiju film would be historical, apocalyptic or disaster, espionage, war, political, superhero, and horror. Genres that I think would not work in a kaiju movie would be romantic, comedy, and gangster. I would like to make a video exploring the different genres that kaiju movies can explore, and why I think they could or could not work. Tyrone Delta asked the following question. Do you think in due time when Gamera comes back and Toho stop messing around that someone good makes a Godzilla movie or trilogy that surpasses both Gamera's comeback movie and Heisei trilogy? I don't know how to answer this question because I'm not a huge Gamera fan. I would like to see Gamera make a comeback, especially because he's been absent from a movie for the past 15-20 years now. Now, Gamera did appear in that short film from 2015, released for the 50th anniversary of the Gamera franchise, and a lot of people were convinced that was a teaser trailer for a new Gamera film, but it wasn't. It was a short film. But still, I would like to see Gamera make a comeback. Maybe he would appear in the Monsterverse. I know there's people that want to see Gamera in the Monsterverse, but personally, I don't know. I'm not a huge Gamera fan. I've never been into Gamera, but I would like to see the giant flying turtle come back in some form. And for the record, I have not seen the Heisei Gamera trilogy yet, so I don't know how to answer that question of whether or not a new Godzilla movie would surpass the Heisei Gamera trilogy, because I still haven't seen it yet. So, there's that. This next question is from Lost Grid Productions. Are you thinking about making a movie using real people? Yes, I would like to work with real people and real actors to make a movie in either short film or feature-length format. Now, whether it be on a big budget, low budget, or something I made for fun on YouTube, I would like to work with real people or real actors. I would feel comfortable doing so once I have enough experience in writing and directing, which is why I'm going to college, to study filmmaking, to study cinema. As of right now, I've only made stop-motion films. I would like to take it to the next level by working with real actors and real people to make a feature film or a short film, so I'm glad you asked that question. Yaku the Volcanic Muto asked the following question. If you could make a movie in the Monsterverse, what would it be? There are two types of Monsterverse movies I would like to make. Either a loose remake of a 1950s monster movie like The Beast in 20,000 Fathoms, Them, The Giant Behemoth, It Came From Beneath the Sea, or any other monster movie of that era. Another would be a loose adaptation of The Lost World or Journey to the Center of the Earth. Given that Godzilla vs. Kong has introduced us to the Hollow Earth and what it looks like, it opens the possibilities of exploring all sorts of new stories waiting to be told in the Hollow Earth. That doesn't have to involve Godzilla or Kong. For a Monsterverse movie set in the Hollow Earth, I can imagine a monarch expedition traveling to the Hollow Earth and discovering a lost world that's inhabited by new titans, kaiju, dinosaurs, and creatures. That's the sort of Monsterverse movie I would like to see. So those are the two Monsterverse movies I am thinking of that I could one day direct if given the chance. This question is from morrowhell. What are your plans for the future of your channel? I'm glad you asked, because in less than a week, I'm going to be in college, and classes range from a few hours throughout the whole day, which means it's not going to leave me enough time to work on YouTube videos. This doesn't mean that I'm going to leave YouTube. It just means that I'm going to spend less time working on YouTube videos in order to focus on studying in college. I'm probably going to make an update for my channel to inform you guys on where I take this channel to while I'm busy studying in college. One change that I think you are going to see going forward is that I'm not going to upload as many videos per month as I used to. Before, I used to upload like 3 or 4 videos per month, but now I think I'm going to upload at least 1 video per month. This way I can focus more on college while giving me enough free time to work on at least 1 video per month. I think that's where you're going to see this channel go to in the future, because I am going to study in college, and also real life is going to be busy too. But I'm just going to let you guys know that I'm still going to be on YouTube regardless of the circumstance. So there's your semi-answer right there. Next question is by Jurassic Studios. What is the most underrated Godzilla movie in your opinion? Now, I was going to go with Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, which in my opinion is one of the most underappreciated Godzilla movies. It's also one of the best character-driven Godzilla movies, and it gave us one of the best iterations of Mechagodzilla. I'm actually going to go with Godzilla vs. Gigan. It introduced us to a new kaiju villain that would become a fan favorite, that being Gigan, a kaiju with a bizarre yet creative design and a sadistic, joyful personality. It was the first Godzilla movie that made Godzilla bleed, and despite being cheesy, the kaiju action was fun to watch, as long as you ignore the weird verbal exchange between Godzilla and Anguirus. The film is centered around the perspective of a manga artist who becomes involved in a conspiracy to uncover the truth about the employers of a children's theme park, who are secretly plotting an alien invasion. Godzilla vs. Gigan actually has a lot of things to enjoy about, and it's surprisingly overlooked. Many people dismiss it as one of the weaker films, but I actually find Godzilla vs. Gigan fun to watch from time to time, and I really enjoyed the kaiju action, and also really enjoyed the premise enough, despite it copying from movies that came before. So yeah, I think Godzilla vs. Gigan is one of the most underrated Godzilla movies, especially from the Showa era. Antonio Sapello asked the following question. What if Linkin Park music was in a Godzilla movie? What would have been your thoughts about it? I guess it would be kind of cool to have Linkin Park music in a Godzilla movie. Well, Linkin Park music was in Transformers, and it worked there, but in Godzilla, I don't know. I guess it can work just fine, but personally, I don't think Linkin Park music should be in a Godzilla movie. That's just how I feel about it. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like Linkin Park as a band. Their songs are great, but it wouldn't fit in a Godzilla movie. Here's a question from Giganotosaurus the King. What is your favorite meme? That's kind of a tough question to answer, because the thing about memes is that they come and go. Some memes stand the test of time, some of them become dated as soon as they become relevant. Some memes I do find genuinely funny, and there's some memes that I cringe incredibly hard. I would say Drake. Drake is a very good meme. It's one of my favorites. But I don't really have a favorite. There's really no one meme that I like more than the others. So that's kind of something I'm a little bit neutral about. I do like memes. I will say that. I do find meme culture really annoying and really obnoxious, but I do like memes. I do find them funny, but some of them I do find incredibly cringe-worthy. Gigan Rico 0404 asked the following question. Favorite Godzilla movie besides the original, or favorite movie in general? My favorite Godzilla movie is Shin Godzilla, which might surprise many of you because even though it's a divisive entry in the fandom, I liked it a lot. It was a refreshing entry in the Godzilla franchise that took itself seriously. It reinvented the character of Godzilla in a bizarre yet horrifying way that still stays true to the character. The film was a political thriller that depicts the events of the film through the perspective of the Japanese government and a ragtag group of politicians who did everything in their power to save the country of Japan from this horrifying threat that was Godzilla, that kept evolving every time they tried to stop it. It was dark, foreboding, it was unsettling at times, and the movie features a lot of parallels with the 1954 original, so much so that it could be considered a remake, even though it's not actually a remake, but it feels like a remake of the 1954 Gojira. It was both a great Godzilla movie and a good film. As for my favorite movie of all time, it would be King Kong, both the original version of 1933 and the Peter Jackson version from 2005. Both of these movies not only introduced me to both Godzilla and Kong, but they also made me love giant monster movies, dinosaur movies, blockbuster films, and just film in general. And these two movies actually made me want to pursue a career in filmmaking, or at the very least inspired me to get into film. The story of King Kong is a mix of tragedy, adventure, horror, mystery, and even a little bit of romance. Similar to Star Wars, The Matrix, the original Gojira, and even the original Jurassic Park, King Kong remains one of the most important and influential works of fiction ever put to film that has inspired generations of filmmakers and storytellers. For that reason, King Kong remains my favorite movie of all time. Not necessarily the best movie of all time, but my favorite movie of all time. This question comes from Heisei Godzilla. Do you like anime? Not really. I used to like anime when I was a kid, and I did watch some anime back in the day, such as Naruto, Avatar, The Last Airbender, the Pokemon anime, the Jackie Chan anime, but other than that, I've never really been into anime. Anime has never really interested me, to be honest with you. I like the animation style. I do find it interesting as a medium, but generally speaking, I've never really been into anime. So no, I don't really like anime that much. That could be one of the reasons why I don't have the urges of watching Godzilla Singular Point, because I'm just simply not into anime. Snowy Rabbit of NL asked the following question: will you review Prehistoric Planet? Unlikely. I haven't watched the entire series yet because I don't have Apple TV Plus, or I don't have Apple TV in general. Now, I have seen a little bit of Prehistoric Planet, and what I've seen I really like. I like that this docuseries is really putting in the effort to make the dinosaurs as realistic as possible, with all the latest current understanding and scientific discoveries and scientific accuracies to make these dinosaurs look real and treat them as real living animals, not as movie monsters. And also some of the speculative ideas I find very interesting. I didn't know the T-Rex can swim. I'm one of those people that didn't think the T-Rex could swim, but Prehistoric Planet here actually discovered evidence that the T-Rex can swim, so that's really interesting. But as of right now, I do not plan on reviewing Prehistoric Planet because I haven't seen the whole series yet. I do want to see it. I want to see everything, but I've only seen some of it here and there. But what I have seen, I really do like. But I will let you know that no review is coming of Prehistoric Planet. Aladar 2000 asked the following question: what do you think of Dinosaur 2000? I think Dinosaur 2000 is an underrated movie from Disney's catalog of CG animated films. It is not only a good dinosaur film, it is an underrated movie. Like, hands down, it is a movie that I think deserves more recognition. I like the animation, I like the character designs, the creature designs. The Carnotaurus is a badass looking theropod dinosaur. That movie introduced me to the Carnotaurus. I really like the design of that creature. I generally like the design of the dinosaurs and animals. Aladar, the main dinosaur protagonist, who was raised by a family of lemurs, was a great dinosaur character who was likable, caring, and heroic. And he was an iguanodon. This movie introduced me to the iguanodon, at least in film. And this is the movie that actually made me like dinosaurs aside from the T-Rex, the raptors, the brachiosaurus. So I'm glad to see that this movie used dinosaurs that were more obscure, dinosaurs that didn't get as much recognition, like the Carnotaurus, the iguanodon, the Styracosaurus, etc. The animation and visuals are simply impressive, especially by today's standards. The CGI still looks great. Overall, I'm glad I'm not the only person who grew up with this film. It's not only a nostalgic piece of dino media from the 2000s, it is a great movie from Disney that I feel deserves more recognition and appreciation. The next question is by Megalini the King. Do you know who Spinosaurus the King? No. If it's a YouTuber, never heard of him. But if you're referring to the dinosaur, then yes, I've heard of the Spinosaurus and I know who the Spinosaurus is. But he is not the king, that's for sure. Shingidora17 asked the following question: what is the worst film you've ever seen? I don't know. There's plenty of bad movies I've seen in my life. I guess if I want to stay in the realm of franchise movies, I'm going to say Jaws 3D and Jaws The Revenge. Both movies are absolutely horrible. Jaws 3D is terrible because of its badly aged 3D effects, cheesy acting, cheesy characters, generic plot, and Jaws The Revenge for being a completely unnecessary sequel that was just bizarre and cobbily made. It was just a bad movie. So Jaws 3D and Jaws 4 are the worst movies I've seen. I'm sure there are other movies out there that are worse, but I have no interest in seeing them. Or if there is a movie that has that reputation of being one of the worst, I'll probably check it out just for entertainment value and see if it really is as bad as its reputation says it is. But as of right now, Jaws 3D and Jaws 4 are the worst movies I've seen. Antonio Sapello is back with another question. What are your thoughts on Godzilla Singular Point? At this point, I have not seen Godzilla Singular Point. And as mentioned before, I'm not really into anime. I don't really have the urges of watching Godzilla Singular Point despite it being a Godzilla anime. If there's anything to indicate by the reviews and how divisive it is, I have no interest in seeing it, because I'm probably not going to like it that much despite it being Godzilla. And also, I'm not really into anime. So yeah, I haven't seen Godzilla Singular Point at this point. I might get around and watching it, but I doubt I'm going to like it, to be honest with you. Okay, moving on. Cretaceous the Hunted asked this question: favorite dinosaur? If I'm going to go by multiple groups, my favorite theropod dinosaur, aside from the T-Rex, because that's too obvious, you know what, if I'm going to be honest, there's really no theropod dinosaur that I like more than the T-Rex. I like all sorts of theropod dinosaurs. T-Rex is obviously my favorite one, but there's multiple theropod dinosaurs I like just as much as the T-Rex. That will probably make its own video of top 10 favorite theropod dinosaurs, so watch out for that video someday. Now with sauropods, my favorite is the Apatosaurus. With stegosaurs, well, stegosaurs, obviously. Ceratopsian dinosaur, it would be the Styracosaurus. with hadrosaurs, it would be the Edmontosaurus. The Edmontosaurus is my favorite hadrosaur. I really think it's a really cool dinosaur, and I think it's a dinosaur that deserves more recognition. It's just a really impressive animal in its own right. My favorite ankylosaur dinosaur is the Sauropelta, and my favorite flying reptile, which is not a dinosaur, would be the Rhamphorhynchus. I really like the Rhamphorhynchus pterosaur. And that's kind of about it, really. Oh, and my favorite ornithomimosaur dinosaur is the Dinocaris. Dinocaris is a really strange and yet interesting looking dinosaur. And oh, I would also go with Therizinosaurus. That's another dinosaur I really like. It's an awesome feathered dinosaur with giant wolverine claws. I recently made a pipe cleaner of that dinosaur, so you can go check out that video if you want. So yeah, those are my favorite dinosaurs of different groups right there. Godzilla 2005 with one more question. How would you end the Monsterverse? Interesting question that I feel like deserves its own video, where I discussed the multiple possibilities of ending the Monsterverse, from a Pacific Rim crossover to Final Wars or Destroy All Monsters. There are many ways that I feel like the Monsterverse could end, but I'm going to save that for a future video, where I'll discuss the many possibilities of ending the Monsterverse. Tyrone Delta has one more question to ask. Congratulations for your Q&A video. Here's my second and third next questions. Do you think Toho should let Godzilla go on a break when the next era comes after Reiwa? And should they use a new kaiju mascot and kaiju crew to fill in the void the rest of that era until Godzilla returns ready and fresh at the start of the era that comes after the temporary mascots era? I don't know how to answer this question. Part of me feels like Toho should just let Godzilla take a break. We've been getting a lot of Godzilla media from both Legendary and Toho, and not all of it has been great. So part of me does want them to take a break, but part of me does want them to continue the franchise and hopefully improve. And I would like to see some original kaiju get the spotlight and become just as iconic as Godzilla, or maybe let other kaiju aside from Godzilla get the spotlight. So that's the best way I can answer that question right there. Here's Churro with multiple questions that are numbered strangely. First question, how do you think they handled Burning Godzilla, an Oxygen Destroyer, and Trash King of the Monsters? In my opinion, they basically reduced those two things to unimportant, meaningless callback. Question 4, do you think Jurassic World series should have stuck with hybrids all the way through into the third movie? And fourth question again, do you want Gareth Edwards to return? I think you meant to say first question, second question, and then third question. To answer your first question, I already mentioned this earlier in the video. The Oxygen Destroyer and Burning Godzilla subplots in Godzilla King of the Monsters were not handled very well. They were poorly handled, they were rushed, and they basically felt like fan service, so I agree with you in that. And yes, King of the Monsters was not that great. To answer your second question, I'm fine with the Indoraptor and the Indominus Rex. I don't think they should have done more hybrids in the Jurassic World trilogy. I would like to see a hybrid-focused movie in a separate movie in the Jurassic Park franchise. What I mean is that I would like to see a live-action adaptation of Chaos Effect with updated hybrid dinosaur designs that strike the right mix of scientific accuracy and realism with how over-the-top and exaggerated the hybrid designs were of Chaos Effects, and some of those designs are really creative. The colors also were visually striking. I would have liked to have seen some more hybrids in the Jurassic World trilogy aside from the Indoraptor and the I-Rex, but I'm fine with what we got. And the last question of the Q&A video by Tony Boneman. Congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. You deserve it, man. Hope you get many more. So for questions. 1. Favorite incarnation of Mechagodzilla? 2. Would you consider doing a behind-the-scenes video for Primeval once all the installments are released? Thank you, Tonya Bowman, for the comment right there. So for the first question, my favorite incarnation of Mechagodzilla is Kiryu. The other Mechagodzillas, with the exception of the anime iteration, are great in their own right, but Kiryu is in my opinion the best incarnation of Mechagodzilla, both in design and character. I'll likely make a video explaining why I think Kiryu is the best version of Mechagodzilla. As for the second question, at the moment I'm not too sure if Primeval is going to get a behind the scenes video. I would like to make a behind the scenes showing you how Primeval was done, and I do have enough content to make a behind the scenes video, but at the moment I'm still working on the project. But maybe in the future, once all 4 parts are released and that completed cut is also released, maybe, but at the moment not now. I don't have plans for a behind the scenes of Primeval, but it is still within the realm of possibility. This concludes my first ever Q&A video, and this was the 1,000 subscriber special. Thank you everyone for submitting these questions and for subscribing to the channel and helping me in achieving this milestone. This was a different kind of video from the usual, as I got to interact with my subscribers and letting you guys be more present in my videos. So in that sense, I had fun making this video. This video did take a while for me to put together, as I was busy in real life, which is why I was absent for 2 weeks. But at the very least, the Q&A video is done. Before I go, I'll quickly inform you guys of the future projects of this channel going forward that I'm working on. Primeval 1 out of 4 is almost complete. Just 2 more scenes and it'll be ready for upload. A video covering all the recent and latest Monsterverse news is coming up. The second wave of prehistoric creatures made out of pipe cleaners is complete, and a third wave is also on the way. The aforementioned Jurassic World Dominion review is on its way. And finally, I'll make a video discussing the future of this channel post 1000 subs, as I enter college. So stay tuned of all these projects that are coming in the near future. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel to become notified of future uploads. As always, long live the king, and I'll see you guys in the next video.